Hello everyone, we are the Purple Partying Pandas and this is our preliminary presentation. A quote from the World Happiness Report in 2012 states, "No people can be truly happy if they do not feel they are choosing the course of their own life."
The current design of future cities has not had many positive effects on mental health, with many city designs prioritizing consumerism rather than the mental well-being of its residents. There's also been societal pressures and systems in place that have led to mental health being highly stigmatized in society. With all this being said, how can the design of future cities benefit mental health, including both physical layout and societal pressures?
Biochemistry can be used to study responses of the brain to stimuli in order to improve mental health. The 2018 Future Workplace Survey found employees' top desires for workplace included natural lighting and views of nature. Sunlight triggers the release of serotonin and vitamin B that both improve mood and increase the feeling of calmness and focus. A small office study in 2014 found employees slept better at night if they were exposed to natural lighting during the day. The National Academy of Sciences found enjoying music increases blood flow to parts of the brain associated with reward, motivation, emotion, and arousal. These euphoric responses produce pleasant responses involving dopamine and opioid systems, as well as other neurotransmitters. Similar responses are found with other euphoria-inducing stimuli like food and sex.
Regarding mental health in green spaces, studies have found that short term exposure to various types of green spaces reduces stress symptoms, restores attention fatigue, increases positive emotions, and improves self esteem. They also found that green spaces are often seen as a cultural service of the ecosystem to allow people to come together. And most evidence for positive effects of biodiversity on well being were found for bird, plant, and butterfly species richness, and specifically pleasures of bird watching and interaction with birds were associated with reduced stress. And for a specific case study in the Thames Chase Community Forest in England, which is pictured both here and here, this was a multidisciplinary study that found that with more parts of the forest becoming acquired and protected, there was a reduction in the average distance to the park for the residents surrounding the area. And this could show an improvement in the access to greenery, but then the interview portion of these residents found that there were differing opinions on the ideas of access and proper use of the park, and that related to the perception of exclusion, whether it was race, ethnicity, or able bodiedness. But being physically present in outdoor space was acknowledged as helpful with stress and mental health of the residents. And overall access to green spaces often incorporates the preconceived notions of the people surrounding these green spaces, and more work can be done to be as inclusive as possible for these future cities. And next would be the mental health initiatives. So, for Opening Minds in Canada, this was an initiative that created two programs in the workplace that were designed to destigmatize mental health. And they used the mental health continuum model, which is pictured right here. And it was used to assess mental health in a way that is not clinical and isolating. And they also delivered coping skills to participants as well. And their results show that there was a decrease in stigma of mental health in the workplace and an increase in the participants' resilience scores. And then there were the youth-based centers, which is Headspace in Australia. This was a program designed to engage young people in early intervention of mental health by creating Headspace centers that offer services revolving help around mental health. And it was crucial that these centers had a youth-friendly environment because so many healthcare systems in general neglect teens or young adults because we're expected to be at the prime of our lives in this time. And their results indicated that it was effective in reaching men and women fairly equally, as well as providing youth friendly environments, increasing accessibility to mental health services, and fostering healthy relationships with the Headspace Center staff.
For my literature review, the first study I looked at was stress management strategies for students, the immediate effects of yoga, humor, and reading on stress. The study was done on 22 graduate students to determine which of those three factors would decrease stress, and if they did end up decreasing stress, which would be the most effective. After the reading session in particular, students psychologically and physiologically, their stress scores decreased. Then I also looked at Beyond Books, public libraries as partners for population health. These focused on the Healthy Library Initiative formed between University of Pennsylvania and the Free Library of Philadelphia. They found that libraries function as safety nets for vulnerable populations and that they address social determinants of health. And the library in particular had programs that were able to address literacy, educational attainment, youth engagement, social cohesion, employment, community nutrition, and elder engagement.
The literature review for the religion discipline. This first literary review was for a study that was done called Religious Coping in the Time of the COVID-19 Pandemic in India and Nigeria. And they were finding a cross-national community survey. This study was conducted by the International Journal of Social Psychiatry. It focused on religion as a coping mechanism during the COVID-19 pandemic, specifically in India and Nigeria. They collected their data using an online survey through Google Forms, and they had 647 participants. Studies showed that natural disasters have long-lasting effects on religion, spreading across generations. The next literary review that was done for this was the mental health benefits of religion and spirituality. Religion was shown to act as a community that is organized around a system of beliefs, whereas spirituality is an individual decision of what someone believes or does not believe. Religion and spirituality both can help someone tolerate stress by giving them a sense of peace, purpose, and forgiveness. Mental health benefits of religion include community, ritual, and teachings. And mental health benefits of spirituality are individuality, mindfulness, and unity with surroundings.
So for areas of conflicts, there are varying ideas on how to measure mental health, such as behavioral scales or self-reported scores. And mental health is such a complex topic that it is often difficult to come to a consensus on how to best measure one's mental health. And for mental health initiatives, they often prioritize different demographics or different settings in their programs that they're creating. So the ideas of what is most effective may be in conflict with each other. And there are also differing methods on carrying out mental health programs or services, such as initiatives that create completely new institutions versus initiatives that pull currently existing organizations together.
Another area of conflict is studies analyzing potential factors that improve mental health cannot always prove that factor is the reason for improved mental health. Just because a certain aspect of life is associated with happiness does not mean those aspects were the cause. For example, people with a higher income are generally happier, but that does not mean higher income causes happiness. It could also mean people who are happy are perceived as more successful, and so it is easier to negotiate higher wages, or that happy people are more capable of finding and maintaining jobs with higher income.
For our common ground, we decided that in order to improve mental health in cities, we need to promote personal practices to improve mental health, as well as consider mental health in the design of cities themselves.
One of the potential solutions that we came up with was personal mental health. And I think we can all agree that mental health is a personal thing and that most people are private about their mental health. And while it's important that we do have people we can talk to about our mental health, there are also some ways that we can personally deal with our mental health. And these include spirituality, which we talked about earlier in the presentation of how it promotes individuality, mindfulness, unity with surroundings. And because spirituality is an individual thing and it's a choice that you get to make individually, it also gives you a sense of peace and forgiveness and just understanding of things around you. And also there is music, which promotes positive emotions, motivation, and overall pleasant responses. I know just walking around campus, sitting in your room, doing homework, all those things, just listening to music, even driving down the road, listening to music just adds it just gives a better mood, a better thing to everything. And these sort of solutions came from the religion and the biochemistry discipline.
For potential solutions, work is a huge part of daily life for many people. Considering a common theme across disciplines is fostering acceptance and stress-relieving activities for improving mental health, a solution for future cities is to implement mental health initiatives in the workplace, which could contribute to work-life balance and a sense of peace, unity, and community amongst people. Now, this initiative could encourage more open conversation with workplace peers in order to destigmatize mental health issues, which could lead to a greater understanding among your peers and friends. They could also offer meditation spaces or allowing time in the work schedule for meditation, which would be helpful in relieving stress. And part of the initiative could also be more opportunity to choose their work schedules and balance their job with their personal lives. By having that freedom and flexibility to choose when and how you work would lead to less stress for the individual in the long run and build a sense of inner peace.
Another one of our potential solutions pertains to the physical environment of cities themselves, because that can be used to promote better mental health for their citizens. Some ways that a city could promote good mental health are to include green spaces, libraries, and other community areas. The inclusion of these areas could, for green spaces, help reduce stress and depression, as well as increase positive emotions. For libraries, help reduce stress, as well as address other social determinants of health in a community's population. And for other community spaces, help promote feelings of inclusion and community, which benefit mental health.
The Happiness Research Institute posted a report on why people of Denmark and the Nordic regions are consistently so happy. On a scale from 1 to 10, from 1973 to 2012, the people of Denmark have averaged happiness at 8. The report breaks down factors believed to contribute to this happiness. The main factors are trust, security, wealth, freedom, civil society, and work-life balance. People trust each other to do the right thing, reflected by the low crime rates in Denmark. The welfare systems in the Nordic region provide security for citizens, reducing anxiety around unemployment and health. Higher GDP and household income is also associated with higher ratings of happiness, as well as personal freedoms like same-sex marriage and attending college, no matter their financial situation. A work-life balance allows citizens to have flexible schedules and take vacations, leaving plenty of time for socialization and volunteering. We could learn from the example of Denmark about how we could create happier cities.
In conclusion, we determined that biochemistry, English, biology, and religion as disciplines can all be combined together in order to design cities that are beneficial for mental health. From doing individual and collaborative research, we discovered that all 4 of our disciplines can strategically be used together in designing of cities that will be more beneficial for mental health. No matter what discipline a person chooses, mental health is always going to be an important factor, not just within disciplines, but in life in general. With that being said, it is imperative that cities be designed in a manner that promotes mental health rather than making it worse.